YouTube! What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I've got some exciting news, or at least CA had some exciting news that I'm just passing along to you. You all should check out their Facebook post that they put up. It's got a link to the forums, or you can just go straight to the forums. They released a small update for Total War Rome 2 today. It was not a patch, but from what we can see here, there's a couple of interesting changes, and I, for one, am extremely excited about this news, and you all may be thinking once you hear me, it's not that big a deal, but wait till I get done and I'll explain to you why I think it's a big deal. So, what they did in the patch was they reskinned, apparently, the war elephants, the African war elephants. We'll take a look at them here in a minute. We'll go in, and they changed the Epirus faction. So what's funny is that I'm actually just about to release a video of me playing as Epirus. I'll release that, and I'll have to put a disclaimer on it, of course, because they've released it since then, and I kind of bashed on Epirus a little. Not a lot, just saying that their faction didn't have a whole lot to offer, really. Well, that's changed. So what CA did was they came in and actually just modified the unit roster a little to change a little bit about how Epirus balances out as a faction. Now, the very first thing some of you are going to say is, well, why not Sparta, or why not this faction? Okay, let's not get there yet. Let's look at what they did to Epirus, and then I'll throw in my 2 cents on why this news is exciting. So, the biggest change is the Royal Peltist edition. So, Royal Peltist are one of the strongest units in the game as far as sword infantry, probably right next to Praetorian Cav in their Praetorian Guard in their capability. It said they added these Illyrian levies. I thought these guys were already in here, but maybe I'm wrong. But whether or not they were in here, this is at least I don't think they were in here. It said they added them, so I'm going to go on the assumption that they added them. I want to say they had like coastal levies or something. Maybe they've changed it. In any case, these are axemen, and they're cheap, real cheap. And their stats are none too impressive. With a base morale and health like this, these guys are going to die easy. But for the price, you get quite a bit of damage here. And if we look at the weapon damage, it's half and half armor piercing. So as a flanking unit, this unit's potentially dangerous. Now, it's not going to be able to go unsupported, and it's going to be very vulnerable to missiles, from what we can see. But it's still an interesting addition. Like, if you had a pike line maybe supported by these guys or something, it makes it more dangerous. Royal Peltist, of course, a risky unit in my opinion, as all extremely expensive sword units, but still, it gives the faction some power to behold, besides just the Hellenic Royal Guard. The other major change that happened is they threw Thessalian Cav in here. Thessalian Cav is some of the cheapest shock Cav in the game, maybe right next to Sarissa Cav, which could be considered light Cav. But in any case, cheap shock Cav now gives Epirus again another facet that wasn't there before. The Romans previously, and then Macedon, would have had access to cheap shock Cav, and now Epirus gets thrown into that mix, which makes them, again, a little more capable, because shock Cav is good against other cavalry, and you don't have to spend the full 1270 on a Hellenic Royal Cav to gain some of that capability. Interesting to know. Thessalian Cav, not as high a morale, and it doesn't have the encourage ability. But just an interesting note. So there's one last major change up. So previously, Epirus had access to African elephants. That has changed, and they are now Indian war elephant mercenaries. Very expensive unit, but Indian elephants, as you all know, these aren't the armored variety, but are very powerful. So Epirus now has a powerful shock tool, as well as one more melee tool and some cav tools. So it's changed the face of Epirus a little. They also have access to elite skirmishers, as well as cheap skirmishers. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm not necessarily saying this makes Epirus a power faction, but part of the reason I'm real excited for this news is because if CA did this to Epirus, they can do it with any of the factions, and they just dropped it at any time. So I, for one, want to thank CA for this and say thank you. This is awesome. This is the kind of stuff that's neat. Taking a look at the game and adding stuff in where it could be handy, and keeping it alive and changing up the way things balance, this is fantastic. And so there's a lot of other factions in here that you all might have a qualm with. Some of you all have been talking about Sparta on my channel recently, or other ones. Or, I mean, this just means that CA could come back in here, add a few things, it adds to the game, and to me it shows me that they still care about this game, which I know a lot of you have doubted. I'm fortunate enough that I got to meet some of these folks in person, and I know that some of you were disappointed with the release of Rome 2. There was a lot of issues going on there, but I promise you, if you'd had the opportunity like I did to meet these folks, you'd understand that they really do care about this product, and they're not paying me to say this either. I'm just saying this because I've been there. I've seen that. I work in a professional environment too. I know some of the things that happen in the real world, and so I think they've done a fantastic job of coming back and trying to support this game and making things right in that sense. And patch 9 was fantastic. I imagine more good changes will come in patch 10. And this is also another fantastic addition here. It's great. You don't have to pay for it. They come back in and add some stuff to the game. So I think this is exciting because it means that more stuff could happen, and personally I hope it does. So thank you, CA, for adding that in. And I'm going to just start a battle here real quick. I'll bring the Royal Peltist. I brought a couple Indian War Elephants, and I want to bring some of the African Elephants just so we can look at their new skin. Yep, see, look here, it's African War Elephants. It's got a different look to it. And this isn't going to really be a battle for battle's sake. I'll bring this other kind too to see if they've changed. And I'm just going to hit start so that I can show you all this. This is really just meant as a quick update to let you all know what's happened. Again, for more information, I'll try and put a link up to the thread, but go to the Total War forums and check that out. And by the way, if you're not involved in the Total War forums, which I'm barely involved, I only got involved recently. My name is Patchy on the forums, and it's just something to be involved in. You can go on there and you can comment on different Total War things. You can participate in threads that are out there. It's a great place to go and learn more about the game because there's a lot of players on there that are very dedicated, as well as CA staff members who get on and help answer questions and kind of create a community for the game. I highly recommend you go participate if you have not so far. So here's the Indian War Elephants. Those do look like the standard Indian War Elephants that we see for the other factions, of course, with Epirus men on top. And here's the Royal Peltist. This should be nothing new either. Yep, just reskinned for Epirus. And let's take a look at the new War Elephant skins over here for Carthage. Ooh, neat. Very cool indeed. Check it out, they got the new tower on top and the coloration. That's nice. I like that. It looks good. And it does look like they've maybe changed these just a little bit too. It seems like the drape over their back is a slightly different color. Now again, nothing that's going to change the state of the game necessarily, but interesting to see. And like I said, this is exciting because again, it says that the developers are still fully engaged with this game, and I like that, and I like the possibilities that this brings. In any case, I hope you all enjoyed this quick update. I'll end it with one more close-up on the Indian War Elephants and the Royal Peltist. But like I said, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will be back to bring you more update action as it evolves. So, HeirofCarthage, signing off for now.